Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's time for the Sports Blitz, the only live-streamed local sports show in Arkansas with all the latest on the sports stories that matter to you.
Busy Prediction Friday here on the Sports Blitz. We've got plenty to talk about. High school football, high school basketball to run down, and some breaking news. Arkansas Tech head football coach Steve Mullins, also the athletic director, has resigned. We'll talk about the fallout from that and much more on a busy day.
Live from the River Valley Leaders Studio, here are your hosts, Mark Freeman and Weldon Braxton.
Welcome into a very busy Friday on the Sports Blitz. We're glad you've chosen to join us. Mark Freeman and Weldon Braxton here in studio. Weldon, man, seems like breaking news just starts popping off right when we get off the air on Wednesday.
It does. I mean, it seems like things are always happening, but you know what? I'm just glad we do get a crack at it. Today is Friday. You mentioned Mark Prediction Friday, so everything from the Arkansas Razorbacks, whatever you at home want to predict. You got, will any of the top three teams in college football go down, creating a BCS mess? Will Arkansas do anything going down to Starkville against Mississippi State? We're going to get into all of that and more.
Oh, we hope that Arkansas will make some noise tomorrow, 11:21 a.m. against Mississippi State. All those stinking cowbells.
Yeah, it's tough.
I found it interesting that John L. Smith said that they didn't do anything special to prepare for that. They said A&M and those places are loud enough. A&M and Auburn, I guess, is where they played on the road. Where else did they play on the road?
They played.
I can look right now and see. They played in College Station. They played in Auburn. Man, they played a lot of games at home. South Carolina was the other one. A&M and Columbia are pretty loud. So he said they didn't do anything special to prepare, which is kind of like the rest of the year. They haven't done anything special to prepare.
We didn't do anything. Well, it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, that's his philosophy.
And if it's broke too bad, you might as well just let it go. I guess that's what his plan has been so far this season. So we'll break down on Prediction Friday the Razorback football game that will be taking place tomorrow early in the morning. So those of you hunters that are going to go out and try to get you one, you get to come back and watch the game at 11 o'clock or just stay out there and hunt.
Go and clean your deer.
Whatever you feel the need to do. But that's not all that's going to be happening tomorrow. We've got high school football that's happening tonight. The Arkansas basketball team will take the floor on Sunday, which is a little different. And looks like for the first time we'll get to see B.J. Young out there. Can't wait to see how the Hogs play with their best player on the floor.
It would be good to see. I want to see if he's going to start or come off the bench. And, of course, this Arkansas team, Mark, we know they're different when they have B.J. Young. But you want to see if this team makes improvements from Game 1 to Game 2, and hopefully we'll see that against Longwood.
Yeah, we hope that the Hogs can get a convincing and, injury-free win, because you expect them to get the win. I found it very interesting that Indiana played Sam Houston State. And Arkansas, it's a close game, and Indiana beat Sam Houston State by 54 points.
Well, we softened them up. That's what happened.
Yeah, Indiana beat. It's never good when you get beat by more points than you score, and that's what happened to Sam Houston State against Indiana. But that shows how much more Arkansas's got to do to get to that upper echelon, and they're not quite there yet.
Well, apparently whoever played Hector the other night had that happen to them too.
Yeah, we don't need to go there. We'll look at some local high school basketball. Let's do that right now. Thank you to the Rack Furniture Warehouse for making this possible. As we look at high school football tonight, we've got playoffs going on. We need to first congratulate some local athletes for signing their national letters of intent to go play college ball in various places. Today alone, right now, we had Corey Campbell at Pottsville, who Ken was there to film and document that. That one's going to be up later today. And Dedrick Lee from Clarksville. Corey signed with the Arkansas Razorbacks to play baseball. Huge congratulations to him. We may be hearing from him here in just a little bit if he can shake free from class, which I would hope that you sign with the Hogs. You should pretty much get to do whatever you want in class that day. But we're going to try to hear from him and Coach Wes McCrotty, and then also Dedrick Lee from the Clarksville Panthers. That's my boy. Been watching him for 3 years and look forward to seeing him play out his senior season. He signed this morning with the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, so huge congratulations to them. Madison Talley signed on Wednesday with the Kansas State Wildcats. That's 3 Division I athletes in a 30, 40-mile radius. I mean, that's incredible. And then also today at 3:30, Russellville's own Austin Smith will sign his national letter of intent to play golf with Arkansas Tech. So lots of signings going on, and we need to say congratulations first and foremost to those athletes.
Definitely. It's special anytime you get the chance to sign, with a college team, whether it be D1, D2, or whatever. But these kids, we're talking about some D1 kids here, and of course, the golfer kid Austin Smith, he's done a tremendous job for Russellville as well. I've watched you write about him and follow him, so it's good to see these kids furthering not only their athletic career but their education.
Yeah, and to get full ride scholarships is incredibly difficult. It's very rare. I mean, you have to be very good at what you do, and for Tally to get her full ride at Kansas State to play golf, and for Austin to get his full ride at Tech to play golf, and for Corey, especially for Corey to play baseball. You know how it is with the Razorbacks. They give you like third scholarships. And for them to get scholarships to go play college baseball, college basketball. We had another one from Lamar, Tommy Haas, who is at a JUCO at North Ark in Harrison, and he was offered all these different scholarships. Different teams from all over the country wanted him to come play. Virginia Tech wanted him to come play, but they could only offer him a certain amount.
Yeah.
Well, he signed a full-ride baseball scholarship today with UAPB. So just all these athletes that are getting to go out there and play college sports at the next level, it's great. But the best part, Weldon, is that 4 or 5 years from now, these kids will be graduating with degrees and they're going to be completely debt-free. And they may not think about it now, but it's a huge deal going down the way that they're going to have a chance. That they're going to have a chance to get that education and to get to play ball at the next level.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, I know their parents appreciate it. Even if they don't, I know their parents appreciate having the scholarship, and they're proud of their kids as well. It's a great day when your child signs. I mean, I look at this from a parental standpoint. No, I'm not a parent, but just think about having your child sign and commit to go to college and have everybody around congratulate them. It's really a great day. It's a great celebratory day.
So we will have photos from each one of those days, each one of those signings that happened today, video from at least one of them, possibly even two. So look for that today, facebook.com/RVL News, or go to rivervalleyleader.com and check that out. Again, congratulations to them. And let's look again at the Rack Furniture Warehouse local sports segment tonight. High school football goes into second round playoff action. Got several teams that are in action. Russellville fell last week to Benton, so their season is done. But the Pottsville Apaches will travel to Prairie Grove tonight to take on the unbeaten Tigers, who have not allowed a point in 8 games.
That is impressive.
That is incredible.
It really is, Mark. Now, if you're a Pottsville fan, and Mark, we talked about this the other day, a little bit different brand of football in that part of the state. Not taking anything away from Prairie Grove. We know what the bigger Northwest Arkansas football schools do, but you question this part of the state. You look at that 4A4 conference compared to some of the other 4A leagues. Maybe there's a difference as far as level of competition. So even though Pottsville does have a loss, they're not the number 1 seed. I give them a very good chance to go up there and get a win tonight.
I will make one prediction on a Prediction Friday. That streak of giving up no points for 8 straight games is going down tonight.
All right,
Pottsville will score. We're looking forward to a Pottsville win. That's what we're hoping for, being here in the River Valley, being in this. I don't care to be unbiased. I'm going to be biased toward this side of the state. And I'll just be honest. This is the way we do. You root for the Cyclones. I root for the Panthers. I'll root for the Apaches too, as long as they're not playing the Panthers.
There you go.
We love to watch these teams win and play well. So we look forward to seeing the Pottsville Apaches come back from Prairie Grove with a win, snatch back home field, and then host the winner of Nashville and CAC in the 3rd round of the playoffs. The Dardanelle Sand Lizards, huge win last week at home over Pocahontas, 52-14. They get to travel to Stuttgart today And for those of you that aren't aware, the Dardanelle Chamber of Commerce and some local businesses there in Dardanelle are hosting a Sand Lizard send-off today. They're sending off the Sand Lizards to Stuttgart, just going to give them a police escort out of town, and just a nice little gesture to those kids who have worked so hard that all the community would come out and support them on their way out of town.
Neat. Party in Dardanelle.
It's pretty cool,
You
yeah.
can't party like Dardanelle Sand Lizards. But, yeah, I mean, it's great for these kids. And we know the task at hand, Mark, to say the least, will be difficult tonight against Stuttgart, the Rice Birds. We know they can play. But, hey, Dardanelle's not afraid of anybody. We'll see if they can hang around with Stuttgart, maybe pull off an upset.
That would be awesome.
It
That would
would
be
be.
awesome if we're hearing about two upset wins, quote unquote, between Pottsville and Dardanelle, bringing it home for the 4A4. Another win that we would expect to be an upset is if Morrilton in the 5A were to go to win tonight and get a win.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of people would consider this an upset. Both of them are highly ranked teams in the 5A, but Wynn's got home field tonight, so the Morrilton Devil Dogs look to come home with the win as well. The Lamar Warriors beat Hoxie last week. They travel to Harding Academy tonight, and they look to get a win. They also are very confident, talking to some players and some fans, I say fans, students of Lamar. They're very confident that they're going to have a chance tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Harding Academy, I mean, they're a good football team. I've watched their program in recent years. But, you know, Lamar's one of those teams where it's just hard to count them out. I mean, you look at them and you look at their schedule and you kind of question, you know, how good were they? And they kind of had some bumps in the road, but it seems that they've found their footing again. So I want to see what Lamar can do, see if they can hang in there with Harding Academy.
All right. Well, we have got a special guest on the line with us right now. We talked about the signings that took place in this morning. We've got all those signings all over the River Valley, but one of them is with us today. Is this Coach Wes McCarty or is this Corey Campbell?
No, this is Corey Campbell.
Hey, Corey. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, you?
Oh, doing really well. Mark Freeman, Weldon, Braxton here with the Sports Blitz. First off, I'd just like to say congratulations on signing with the Hogs. How does it feel to be a Razorback?
A dream come true. I mean, I remember up when I was little and watching the games, and now it's just going to be part of my life. And I went up there and played in the same stadiums that, you know, the guys I've watched over the years.
Yeah, that's well, it's awesome because looking back a couple years, I remember when you committed. I guess you were a sophomore. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You committed as a sophomore, and now a couple years later, you get to sign on the dotted line. Do you feel like the pressure's off now that you've put that ink to the paper? Do you feel like, you know, you can go out there and play your best now and you don't have to worry about anything?
Definitely. I mean, I ain't got to worry about, you know, anybody, you know, looking at me and judging me now because I'm a Razorback now. And all I have to do is get better and prepare myself for the next level because, you know, my goal is, you know, to start as a freshman, and I got to do that. I got to, you know, do hard work and make my practices and do all that stuff.
Corey, Weldon, Braxton here. Again, congratulations on signing with Arkansas. When talking with Coach Van Horn, has he explained to you what his vision for you is as a player in your career at Arkansas?
Ultimately, you know, we want to go to Omaha. You know, that's everybody's, you know, dream. But he wants to, you know, to help us out, you know, with, you know, the next level, especially, you know, major leagues and stuff like that. But he also wants us, you know, to be young men, you know, and stuff like that.
What position is he looking at playing you at the next level?
I think somewhere second base or outfield right now.
Well, for those that don't know, Corey, he's a speedster, so he's one of those guys that they just want to get him on base and let him just run for days. And playing him in the outfield, I think Weldon would probably be very beneficial to the Razorbacks. They've had some very fast outfields over the years.
Yeah, they have. Now, Corey, I do have to ask you this. We got to get to something that's real here. We saw Arkansas offensively at times struggle this year, so can you go up there and help them out here in the next couple years offensively?
You know, I plan to. You know, I'm not a home run hitter, but I usually get on base a lot, you know, and I try to find a way to get on.
That's good.
Well, that's awesome. Corey, let's look real quickly. You've got baseball season coming up. What are your season goals now that you've got this pressure off? You've got the ink drying on the paper right now. What are your baseball season goals this year for the Apaches?
You know, I want to at least bat over 400. I want to, you know, I've never been to state in baseball, and I'd like to do that this year. Win conference, you know, just small goals that lead to big ones. You know, ultimately we want to be in state, but, you know, we'll take it one step at a time.
Yeah, Corey, when you look at your team at Pottsville, tell us about some of the other guys on the team as far as what they can bring to the table and your chances of advancing in the 4A and on into state.
I mean, we're going to be a young team this year, but we've been playing with each other since kindergarten. I mean, I just talked to one of my friends today before I signed, and he was like, man, I remember when my mom used to pick us up to go to the T-ball practice or T-ball games, I mean, it's just like us with football. We've been playing with each other since we're, little. The chemistry is great. We have a lot of tools. We have guys that can hit. We have guys that can run, field. I mean, you have guys that can pitch as well. But we'll be young this year, but I'm sure we'll be fine.
Well, Corey, you mentioned, and before we get you out of here, we'll have to let you talk about the football season. You guys have gone just incredibly well the last couple of years, and it's not baseball season yet. You guys have still got playoff football to go tonight. You're going to Prairie Grove. What do you expect tonight? I know you're hoping to bring back a win for the Pottsville fans, but what do you expect for tonight? Are you guys ready to play Prairie Grove?
We're more than ready. We've prepared all week. Going over the plays and everything. We've watched film. We want to win, but we know it's going to be a hard-fought game. We don't know. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, they're picked by 10, but we're pretty motivated to play, and we're ready to go out there.
Corey, watching Prairie Grove on tape, what jumps out at you as far as what they're going to try to do to you tonight on offense and defense?
They're not flashy. They run the same plays over, and they're successful. They're sound football team. They're big. They're fast. I mean, it should be a good game.
Well, we look forward to watching and finding out what happens tonight in the game, and we definitely look forward to watching you this baseball season and your Apaches. Congratulations on signing with the Razorbacks, a huge, huge accomplishment. We're very proud to have great athletes like you around the River Valley. Again, very much congratulations on this signing.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you again soon, Corey. Maybe we'll have you on after you win a state championship in football, and then you get well on your way in baseball.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right. That's Corey Campbell, Pottsville Apaches baseball star, going to play for the Razorbacks, and just an incredible story that 10 years ago, Pottsville wasn't much of anything athletically in sports. They've moved on up the ranks, and now they've got a guy going to play for the Arkansas Razorbacks. He seemed like a very well-spoken kid, a very good head on his shoulders, and we'd love to see him do very well in his future for the Apaches and for the Razorbacks.
Definitely. It was good to talk to him, and I like this concept of team, too. You ask him about what about the rest of the team? He's quick to say, hey, we're young, we've got this and that. So, I mean, sometimes kids in these situations they get absorbed with what they've got going on in their situations, their signing, but still has a great team concept, and gave us a little bit of insight about their football game tonight against Prairie Grove. Very typical to see a lot of these teams, sort of old school coaches that run a playbook that's got about 5 pages long. They'll just give you a steady diet of it. And while it's not hard to mentally get ready for something like that, the fact that they're undefeated running just a few plays tells you they're really good at those things. And so I think it'll be sort of a discipline repetition type night for this Pottsville football team. It should be a good game.
We talk about contrasting styles all the time, but these teams seem to be about two of the exact same style.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. I saw in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette how the coaches were kind of joking that their game should be over before any of the other ones because they're just running the ball.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a fun atmosphere tonight in Prairie Grove. We hope the Apaches can get a win. Thank you to Coach Wes McCarty for making that happen, and for Corey coming on today. Just incredibly impressed with what I heard from him. I'd love to have Dedrick Lee on. We'll see if we can't work that out to get Dedrick Lee on to talk about his signing with Oral Roberts as well. One other little bit of news and notes in local sports. Last night in basketball, the Russellville Cyclones opened their season with a 62-50 win over Hot Springs. Andy Campbell, you're going to be hearing this guy's name for 3 years. Sophomore, in his first high school game, 28 points and 10 rebounds to lead the Cyclones to victory.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Russellville is about last year's seniors and how they lost those guys with Chris Washington, Gray Harris, all those guys. And you don't wonder what does Russellville have coming back. I know they've got some good young players that we can look forward to watching. It's good to see them get off to a good start. Unfortunately, the football players are already back with the team. Was hoping they'd be away for a few more weeks, but hey, it gives Coach Mann and company a jump on getting this team ready.
Yeah, and he's going to need those guys, Kentrell Scott and Jalen Curtis and some of those guys. He's going to need them this year to provide a spark off the bench or to just provide offense and defensive help, because he needs the depth and all that he can get, replacing a lot of guys from last year's state semifinal team. One more bit of news in local sports. It's kind of a somber note, but we can look back and look on the glory days. Arkansas Tech head football coach Steve Mullins has resigned. He's still going to stay on as the athletic director, but they're going to look for a new football coach. Weldon, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the great things that he did in his career as a head football coach at Arkansas Tech, bringing them back, putting them back on the map in the Gulf South and now the Great American Conference. We can look at him as an athletic director as well as getting this program to a place to where they can win the All-Sports Trophy last year in the Great American Conference, and that, to me, is bigger than any honor that they could provide in football. And I know that we're going to see this as a football thing,
right?
But Steve Mullins, the man, has been an incredible man, an incredible coach, an incredible everything for Arkansas Tech, and he's going to remain in that capacity as athletic director. But today, as he resigns in football, it's kind of a passing of the torch and end of the era.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. And I know when you see a coach step down, there's automatic speculation of, oh, was he forced out? Oh, what happened? From what I understand it from reliable people that it was not that type of deal. He stepped down on his own ideas, and it wasn't anything where, they rooted him out. But you just have to understand, Mark, what Coach Mullins has done and what he'll continue to do as the athletic director at Arkansas Tech, putting them in position, hiring good coaches, and making sure facilities are where they need to be. Seems like there's always something going on around the Arkansas Tech athletics facility. So, I'm confident that they're going to hire a good coach, probably someone younger who's going to bring energy and do some different things. And Arkansas Tech football and the athletic department, it's in good hands.
It definitely is. All right, we've got plenty more to get to today. We are going to be packed for the rest of the show. Yeah. So we better get to a break real quickly. We'll come back and we'll have more Sports Blitz.
Hello, River Valley. This is Doug Duval with Arkansas's first Rack Furniture Warehouse, where we have the largest selection of recliners and mattresses in the state of Arkansas. Come visit us at 2609 East Parkway, the Rack Furniture Warehouse.
Set your sights on savings right now at Honda of Russellville. We're offering our best deals of the year on remaining 2012 Honda ATVs, plus special introductory offers on select new 2013 Honda ATVs, all with zero down and easy monthly payments with approved credit. Be sure to check out the all-new Honda Foreman 4x4, now stronger, smarter, and harder working. How about a side-by-side? Well, Honda's got you covered with the Big Red. Honda's Big Red offers a proven Honda engine, automotive-style Honda automatic transmission with no belts to slip or break. Come in for a test ride today at Arkansas's legendary Honda dealer, Honda of Russellville.
Hello, River Valley. This is Doug Duval again at Arkansas's first Rack Furniture Warehouse, where Leon and I are back in business. We have gallery selection at quality warehouse prices here at the Rack Furniture Warehouse, 2609 East Parkway, Russellville.
RiverValleyLeader.com is the #1 local source for instant news in the River Valley, offering HD video and live streaming along with top-notch coverage of all the news and events around the area. The River Valley Leader is the only place to go for all the information you need. Check out the newest local business featured on the site, as well as police news and coverage from important meetings, along with the personal stories, all at one convenient click. Check out RiverValleyLeader.com.
Sports Scene of Arkansas offers a wide variety of sporting goods and apparel to meet any athlete's needs. Coaches love the top-of-the-line equipment that gives their players an edge, and parents and fans can't get enough of the high-quality screen printing that allows them to sport their favorite team's logo on jerseys, bags, and hats. Your one-stop shop for embroidery, banners, and much, much more. Visit your local team sports specialists. Sports Scene at 316 West Main in Russellville.
Today, there are more than 20 brands of cars being sold in America. So to be noticed, Ford and Cogswell Motors have to go further than anyone thought we could. How does Ford stand out above the crowd? Not just with plug-in vehicles like the new 2013 Ford Fusion Energy that gets a projected 100 miles per gallon equivalent, but also with a line of gas vehicles equipped with the innovative EcoBoost engines combining power and efficiency, plus a full measure of technologically advanced features. We invite you to stop into Cogswell Motors today. We go further than anyone thought we could, so that you can go further too.
Live from the River Valley Leaders Studio, here are your hosts, Mark Freeman and Weldon Braxton.
Welcome back to the Sports Blitz Prediction Friday. Facebook.com/RVL News, Facebook.com/Sports Blitz. We'd love to have your input and your predictions. We've got a couple of them coming in right now from Facebook. So let us know what you think about the Hogs game tomorrow against Mississippi State. I've heard a lot of talk and a lot of predictions, Weldon. None of them sounded all that great for Arkansas.
No, and at this point, why would they? I mean, here's an Arkansas team who they've shown inconsistency. They've beaten people who, my Lord, if they didn't beat, it would be a whole nother concern. But you look at Mississippi State, and I think the talk about this game is, well, how good is Mississippi State? Clearly, they're not as good as that 7-0 start they got off to. But I can't put them completely in the dumpster because the teams they lost to were Alabama, Texas A&M, and LSU, three of the best teams in the league. And I really don't think there's a whole lot of mystery with Mississippi State. I think they're a solid team. I think they're an average team. Clearly, they're not in the upper echelon in the SEC, but I think they're better than some of the teams that dwell towards the bottom. And unfortunately, that's kind of where we live. So I think Arkansas, who's always struggled going to Mississippi State, even in the year we went to the Sugar Bowl, it took, a heroic play. I think Jericho Nelson popping the ball out in overtime and all of that. I think Arkansas shows up. I think if they minimize mistakes, which we say this every week, I think Arkansas can stay around a touchdown. I think it'll get to 2 touchdowns if we turn the ball over. And I think Arkansas will probably be anywhere from 7 to 13-point losers right now. I'm not going to give my score, but I think that's the way it goes unless something happens.
Yeah, look, to me, I said the same thing. I'll say the same thing this week as I said last week. If Arkansas doesn't turn the ball over and can throw, they're going to have a chance to put some points on the board and keep in the game. I don't know that they're going to be able to stop Mississippi State consistently enough to win the game. And although Mississippi State doesn't come after the quarterback as well as some of these other teams, they don't have a Jadeveon Clowney on their team. They're going to be good enough to sort of impose their will in different areas. So I expect that Arkansas is going to struggle and have problems. And I'm kind of on the fan mentality, guys. I know you guys that are watching and listening can, identify with me here. The fan mentality right now is that we've been fooled so many times into thinking, this is the week they turned it around. That
Right.
You're going to have to prove it. You're going to have to do it before I believe that you can. So if Arkansas is going to win this game, it's going to be a surprise to me. Let's put it that way.
Me too.
Obviously, I think you'll agree. They're going to have to do something special, and it's going to have to be, okay, you beat Auburn, you beat Kentucky, you beat Jacksonville State. you really haven't beat anybody with the pulse.
Maybe you beat Tulsa. Yeah, go Tulsa. I think the thing with Arkansas is we always say if they don't turn the ball over, but then they end up turning the ball over because I'm just looking at an Arkansas team, and I'll say it again, if they hadn't have turned it over, that's a ball game against South Carolina. And it just speaks to what this team has been all year long. The lack of focus, the lack of attention to detail, the overall sloppiness that we saw going back to Jacksonville State. I think Arkansas would have been in that game against South Carolina. I don't think they would have lost by more of a touchdown, but Arkansas continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And as far as the pass rush, Mississippi State doesn't have quite the rush they did last year. Remember Fletcher Cox, first-round pick of the Eagles, in there. Jadeveon Clowney was pretty much himself against Arkansas. take care of the football. I promise, if you're Arkansas and you can hold on to the ball and not turn it over more than one time, you have a chance to be in this game. But the problem is, I don't trust you to hold on to the ball. You're liable to turn it over 2-3 times, and that's going to get this game out of the 2-touchdown neighborhood and get it ugly. It's unfortunate, Mark, because Arkansas is capable of keeping this a football game. They just don't take care of the ball. They shoot themselves in the foot.
We'll give you our predictions here in just a little bit, but we're going to go back to break real quick. We want to hear from you. Go to facebook.com/sportsblitz and give us your predictions for the game. Let us know what your score is, what you expect. I know that there are a lot of hog homers out there who want to tell us that John Gruden's going to be the next coach and they're going to win 876-0 tomorrow. So let us know wherever you are on that scale, whether you're where I am and you don't have to prove it to me, or whether you think Arkansas is going to win no matter if they're playing the Dallas Cowboys, which, Lord, we don't know about that this year. But let us know what you think, and we'll read your prediction on the air.
Today, there are more than 20 brands of cars being sold in America. So to be noticed, Ford and Cogswell Motors have to go further than anyone thought we could. How does Ford stand out above the crowd? Not just with plug-in vehicles like the new 2013 Ford Fusion Energy that gets a projected 100 miles per gallon equivalent, but also with a line of gas vehicles equipped with the innovative EcoBoost engines combining power and efficiency, plus a full measure of technologically advanced features. We invite you to stop into Cogswell Motors today. We go further than anyone thought we could, so that you can go further too.
It doesn't matter what you're looking for, chances are Good Deal Charlie Discount Furniture has it. From living room, bedroom, and dining furniture to one-of-a-kind pieces, Good Deal Charlie has everything. The staff is pleasant and always friendly, so you'll feel no pressure to buy. With new and used furniture for your home or office, you can find everything you need at the best possible prices at 2209 East Main Street in Russellville. Good Deal Charlie.
RiverValleyLeader.com is the #1 local source for instant news in the River Valley, offering HD video and live streaming along with top-notch coverage of all the news and events around the area. The River Valley Leader is the only place to go for all the information you need. Check out the newest local business featured on the site, as well as police news and coverage from important meetings, along with the personal stories, all at one convenient click. Check out RiverValleyLeader.com.
Live from the River Valley Leader Studio, here are your hosts, Mark Freeman and Weldon Braxton.
All right, we teased earlier, Weldon, talking about will the top 3 teams be upset this weekend? Will there be some BCS chaos? Well, I think it'd be a perfect time to start the 4-team playoff this year.
It'd be nice
if they could just get past all the issues and say, all right, we're going to start the 4-team playoff this year. It would be fantastic.
Well, for one thing, we keep hearing over the last few days that it seems like they're announcing a new bowl every day. Oh, the Champions Bowl now. Oh, a new version of the Cotton Bowl. They're switching up the Orange Bowl. They just keep making up new bowls. Nobody knows who's playing in them. All we know is there's a lot of money exchanging hands.
Oh, yeah.
So
let's look at these games that are taking place this weekend. Obviously, we'll have our eyes 11:21 on the Arkansas-Mississippi State game, but that's not the only interesting game that's taking place Saturday.
No, you've got some teams. Obviously, some teams won't be challenged. I think Notre Dame takes on Wake Forest, and it's kind of just shrug your shoulders. Notre Dame should get the job done in that game. But, looking at Kansas State, I'm trying to find the schedule. I think they have Baylor. It could be a shootout, but I don't think Baylor can do enough to stop Colin Klein. I think Kansas State gets enough stops. Now, Nick Florence and that Baylor offense, they can put some points on the board. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see them getting past Kansas State. Then Oregon. Oregon's
playing Stanford.
Yeah, they're playing Stanford. This has never been a good matchup for Stanford. Even with Andrew Luck, and they've had these good teams with all the great tight ends, Fleener and physical on both sides of the ball. They just don't do well in space. And even though these teams in the past, they've been pretty ranked as far as where they're at, pretty similar, it just doesn't work out because Oregon put you in space. Stanford's not quick, not athletic enough. I think Oregon's favored by nearly 30 points, and that's probably about where it should be. So we don't see anything happening this weekend up top, but a lot of times it happens when we never see it coming. An upset happens. And
That's true.
Just think of what the BCS chaos would be. I mean, now if two of these teams lose, which Kansas State has Texas left on the schedule, I would still pick Kansas State. But with all that Texas talent, you don't just write them off altogether. Oregon, we know they've still got Oregon State. They still got USC. Notre Dame has USC. And then that starts the conversation. Can Alabama get back in this conversation? I think clearly they're the number one-loss team. I think it'll stay that way the rest of the year. Or I don't think Georgia will beat them, but whoever wins the SEC title between Georgia and Alabama will be a one-loss team. I think they have to be ahead of the one-loss pack. And then that's where all the controversy, who's number two, and it gets crazy after that.
Yeah, that's where it gets fun. If one of these things, if Kansas State lost to Baylor, I'd be so happy. Then I'd be rooting, and all my eggs would be pushed to the center because I'd be looking for USC. Yeah, you can be my favorite team for 2 weeks. You can beat Notre Dame, you can beat Oregon, you can get Alabama back in there, and I can win the national championship and be right in my prediction. Really, that's the only thing. And I don't want to see a Notre Dame Kansas State championship game. I watched Kansas State last year in the bowl game, and it wasn't all that great.
Right.
So.
But you got the whole anti-SEC sentiment.
Oh, yeah, and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah. And the thing, what's funny about it is I think Alabama or Georgia should be ahead of the number one-loss team, whoever wins that title game. But then you wonder, is there so much anti-SEC sentiment out there that they wouldn't vote. They'd still vote one loss Notre Dame, one loss Oregon, just anybody to keep the SEC out of it. That's where it may go if that situation were to occur.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend in college football. We've got Texas Tech going to Oklahoma State. That's another matchup of ranked teams. And then I saw one other one that I can't see now. USC at UCLA. Neither one of those games really have any impact on
the
much of anything.
The division's on the line.
The division, you're right.
On the line. And UCLA, give Jim Moore Jr. credit. His first year, he's done a pretty good job. But my Lord, USC. I mean, USC was supposed to be preseason number one. They've got all the offensive talent in the world. Defensively, I know they lost guys. I know they lost Nick Perry to the NFL and some other people, but they could have 5 losses when it's all said and done. I mean, that's almost unheard of. Lane Kiffin should based on that alone, he should be in trouble. Really, what else can you say? And what else can you say about it?
Yeah, that guy's trouble no matter what, whether it's cheating or the fact that his team's just not as good as they're supposed to be. I know that they're still, and the people that are USC fans would say they're still kind of hamstrung by the fact that they don't have the depth they wanted because of the scholarship limitations and stuff like that. I just don't trust. He's a snake. He honestly seems like a snake to me.
I wonder if it's time for him and Pops to sit down, and Lane puts his arm around, says, "Dad, you've been a great coach over the years, and
but you can't do it anymore."
Yeah, you've done it a lot, and I think it's over, Pops. I think it's over. Can you fire your dad? I mean, think how weird that'd be.
I don't know. Dad, we're going to go another direction.
Pops, Pops,
I brought you into this world. I'll take you out of it. So my mom always
That'd be his first comeback. That'd be Monty Kiffin's first comeback.
Oh, Lordy. Well, I look forward to Lane Kiffin's career crashing and burning as quickly as it does. So I'm just not a big fan of his. Let's switch gears real quickly and let's look at basketball. The Hogs, obviously, will be paying particular attention to them as they take on Longwood on Sunday. We've got Prediction Friday answers pouring in. Corey Williams talked about his prediction for tomorrow's or Sunday's game. He said that Arkansas is going to win 92-53 over Longview. Perimeter players look a lot better. A lot of that will have to do with the fact that B.J. Young's playing. Cody Clark has another nice stat line. Hogs win. Weldon, I look forward to seeing the Hogs get rolling too.
Yeah, I do. I mean, they're about to enter this Las Vegas event, and you want to see Arkansas tighten the screws a little bit. I still want to see them be more competitive on the glass, which is something that they weren't in the game against Sam Houston State. You mentioned Sam Houston State got drummed by Indiana. Indiana's the number 1 team in the country, but still, you didn't want to see that. But Arkansas, as they move towards this Las Vegas event, they could be matched up against Wisconsin. Wisconsin goes down to Florida, and they get hammered. They clearly, the pressure defense and the tempo was too much for Wisconsin. I hope Arkansas, if they get that matchup, can do the same thing. Now, Florida was at home in the Old Dome, and when you're pressing and playing up tempo, it's a lot easier to bury a team like a Wisconsin. I hope Arkansas doesn't go out there in Las Vegas away from the crowd and let Wisconsin grind on them to a 58-49 type game.
Yeah.
So I think
Stan Heath game.
Yeah, Stan Heath game. So that'll be something that I want to see. Arkansas, how we play away from Bud Walton moving forward.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing Arkansas at full strength for the first time in a long time.
That's
you got
true.
B.J. Young. Last year you played without your best player in Marshawn Powell, and this year you've played in the first game without your best player in B.J. Young. So you get everybody together and you get to full strength. I look forward to seeing how the Hogs look. Just looking at the schedule, though, it's going to be tough coming up. After about November 23rd, they take on Arizona State, and I admittedly have no clue about Arizona State, but they've got Syracuse, Oklahoma, Michigan. That's the 8th team in the country in Syracuse and the 5th team in the country in Michigan. And then down in the conference schedule, they take on the 3rd-ranked team Kentucky, the 10th-ranked team Florida twice, and the 14th-ranked team Missouri twice. And there's no telling who, by the time Arkansas plays them, will end up ranked amongst all those other ones. So they've got a tough schedule, Weldon. And like you said, though, I look forward to seeing how that pressure style that Florida just beat Michigan down with, or not Michigan, Wisconsin down with, can that wear on people? Can Arkansas do it at a consistent level when they weren't able to do it last year because they didn't have the horses? Yeah. They've got the horses this year.
And the key
we expect.
Yeah, and the key is doing it away from home. Now, there are some games where you look at the schedule, and I'm as big a Hog fan as anybody, but at Michigan, I'm sorry, I'm putting that in as an L. I mean, Michigan's a Final Four caliber team, I think, at their best. You go up there to play. There's no shame in losing that.
Well, and we jumped them last year, got up 25 points, and they came back and nearly won that game.
That's a good point. They did, and you wonder. And we had a lot of energy. You were part of that crowd.
That was
well.
amazing.
It was amazing. Just now going up to Ann Arbor. And then you look at going to Florida. I think we got a trip to Missouri as well. There are some games that you're just not going to win. If Arkansas loses those games, I'm not going to look at them and say, well, they're a bad road team. It's the Ole Misses, even though we never play well in the Tad Pad. We don't play well at the Hump in Mississippi State. But it's those games against mediocre to lower-end teams that you have to win. You have to win those road games because – if you can't win those games on the road, you're not going to win every game at home, and you're probably not going to beat those elite teams I just named at their place. So you've got to take care of business against the likes of Ole Miss, Mississippi State, those teams of the world.
Looking at the college basketball landscape, and I can't wait till March gets here and we get to watch conference tournaments and then the tournament itself. But I've been very impressed with your pick, your first championship pick in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the Kentucky Duke game the other day. I watched a little bit of Kansas and was it Michigan State.
Michigan
they played.
State, yeah.
These games have been kind of interesting so far. Sloppy in a lot of ways, but I look forward to seeing Indiana a little bit more. I don't know. Who did I even pick to win the championship? Louisville, that's right.
I think Louisville will be right there. In fact, I was thinking about Louisville. I think that's a great pick. I think it could happen. But, we never got to react to the Kentucky and Duke game, sort of an early season treat we got as college basketball fans. And I think it went the way people would expect. Kentucky's clearly not ready. They're not the team they're going to be in March. They've got some identity issues as far as the point guard position. I do believe Archie Goodwin will end up being that guy because, remember, a John Calipari point guard is not like a traditional point guard. He just wants a playmaker / scorer. I mean, look at over the years, Derrick Rose, Brandon Knight, Tyreek Evans. I mean, a lot of these guys aren't even playing point guard in the NBA. Now, Derrick Rose is, even though he's not a traditional distributor. I think in the end he's going to see Archie Goodwin's his best, most physical talent as far as being a perimeter guy. I think he'll be the point guard. I think Noel will develop. Kentucky will be there. Not sure they're going to be the Kentucky of last year where they had a mix of leadership and talent with Terrence Jones and Deron Lamb coming back, Darius Miller as well. But, I'm looking at some of these small schools as well, because those are teams that are going to do some damage in the tournament. Murray State, remember, they were good last year.
Always fun to watch.
Yeah, always fun to watch. Isaiah Cannon, he was on my second team All-America list. He put up 26 at Auburn. They were up 45-19 at halftime at Auburn.
God.
I mean, I must ask you before the show. Let's do an Auburn poll. What's worse, your basketball team or your football team? Because they're both in bad shape right now. I mean, Murray State just had their way. We know what Mr. War Eagle, Gene Chizik, he's had his struggles as well. So,
and apparently, just breaking news, his coaching staff has been almost assured that they're going to be back next year. There was a lot of rumors going around that his job status is safe.
He's safe.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. We were breaking that here on the Sports Blitz. I have not heard that, and you wonder. I don't know what the buyout. You may know the numbers. Obviously, the buyout's got to play a role in it. And they may want to be fair to Gene Chizik, but we had Brad on last week, and I thought Brad made a great point. Auburn has pulled recruiting classes. I can make a case that last year and this year, they should have had a better team than the one that won the national title based on overall talent. Now, they didn't have a Cam Newton, but as far as, remember, that defense wasn't that great, weren't great up front. They had some holes. Those holes, based on the way they've recruited, should have been filled. But I think Gene Chizik, the buyout helped him. The fact that he had 2 new coordinators, I think all of that built up for an excuse, and that's why he's back. But that's a little bit of a surprise.
And we don't know that that's even true, but
is that a report or just somebody?
That's just what first off, a 5-star recruit went into Auburn, and they said, no, he's definitely safe. When he came out, he was tweeting, no, he ain't going anywhere. And then I guess it was media somewhere was reporting, I guess it was in Auburn, that he was looks like he was going to be safe. Of course, what are they going to say?
Yeah, so it's not in stone.
Well, he's toast. But no, it's not necessarily in stone, but I thought it was kind of funny because I wouldn't have expected him to be back next year. Auburn is just, like you said, they're a dumpster fire of dumpster fires. All right, we've got to tie a bow on this one here in just a little bit, so we've got to go to break. When we get back, we've got plenty more to talk about and not a whole lot of time to do it. Stay with us on the Sports Blitz.
RiverValleyLeader.com is the #1 local source for instant news in the River Valley, offering HD video and live streaming along with top-notch coverage of all the news and events around the area. The River Valley Leader is the only place to go for all the information you need. Check out the newest local business featured on the site, as well as police news and coverage from important meetings, along with the personal stories, all at one convenient click. Check out RiverValleyLeader.com.
Today, there are more than 20 brands of cars being sold in America. So to be noticed, Ford and Cogswell Motors have to go further than anyone thought we could. How does Ford stand out above the crowd? Not just with plug-in vehicles like the new 2013 Ford Fusion Energy that gets a projected 100 miles per gallon equivalent, but also with a line of gas vehicles equipped with the innovative EcoBoost engines combining power and efficiency, plus a full measure of technologically advanced features. We invite you to stop into Cogswell Motors today. We go further than anyone thought we could, so that you can go further too.
Sports Scene of Arkansas offers a wide variety of sporting goods and apparel to meet any athlete's needs. Coaches love the top-of-the-line equipment that gives their players an edge, and parents and fans can't get enough of the high-quality screen printing that allows them to sport their favorite team's logo on jerseys, bags, and hats. Your one-stop shop for embroidery, banners, and much, much more. Visit your local team sports specialists. Sports Scene at 316 West Main in Russellville. Live from the River Valley Leader Studio, here are your hosts, Mark Freeman and Weldon Braxton.
Last segment of the Sports Blitz. Mark Freeman, Weldon Braxton in studio. We have neglected to tell you, but I hope Maddie, our producer, has put it up on the screen at some point during the show. You can send us a text anytime to the Sports Blitz text box. That's a mouthful every time. The Sports Blitz text box at 479, what's the number? 310-5620. Is that right? Man, I'm good.
Nice.
310-5620 to let us know what you think about anything we're talking about, whether it's the predictions on Prediction Friday or just to vent about the coaching rumors. Lord, we could talk all day about the coaching rumors that are going on.
Right there.
Yeah, we could have a special where we talk about the coaching search that's going on with the Razorback football team right now. But we're gonna go on. We're gonna spare you that drama, and you can send us messages Facebook.com/SportsBlitz. You can email me if you just get super mad, Mark@RiverValleyLeader.com, and let me know what you think. And we'll talk about it on the show on Monday. But we're gonna look at some NFL news real quickly. Maybe even get to some some stuff fresh off the wire if there's anything that interests Weldon over here in his infinite wisdom.
A little bit here and there.
We skipped out on Wednesday on the NFL power rankings. We didn't really have any time, so we need to give you our top 5 teams in the NFL, really explain why we do it the way we do it, and look at the games that are the games of the week. The big one this week, Weldon, Chicago-San Francisco Monday Night Football. That's a clash of the Titans.
That is a huge game, and we have to update the quarterback situation. It looks like Alex Smith, he's passing the concussion test as far as how the weeks progress, so it looks like he will be there. On a side note, head coach Jim Harbaugh had a minor heart procedure, but he should be fine. Jay Cutler looks like he will be out, so Jason Campbell will probably get the start for the Bears. That's obviously going to hurt them. This is a clash of Titans, Mark, because we got both of these teams in our power rankings.
We definitely do. Looking at number 5 in our power rankings, look, these aren't who we would pick to beat who. It's just based on what have you done for me lately. Teams move around week to week, and who we think are the best teams. It's kind of a consensus between the two of us, although I'll get to how we differ here in just a little bit. At number 5, we've got the San Francisco 49ers. At 4, we've got the Chicago Bears. But I don't know about Weldon. I'd pick San Francisco to win that game Monday night.
I would too. But.
So we'll look at moving them next week. Number 3, the Denver Broncos. Gotten hot with Peyton Manning since he's had that bad game against Atlanta with those 3 picks in the first quarter. He's come along in a big way, and we've had the conversation about who would be the comeback player of the year if they were to vote right now, Adrian Peterson or Peyton Manning. We'll post that question on Monday, and we'll have a great debate about that. But be thinking about that. Who would you vote for? It's a very, very tough.
It's those two.
I think it's just those two. Yeah, Adrian Peterson and Peyton Manning. Nobody else even deserves to be in that conversation because of how much those guys have done. At number 2, the Atlanta Falcons, despite their loss. And at number 1, Houston. They beat Chicago on Monday night, and they were able to do it in the bad weather. They're just a team, Weldon, to me, that can do it offensively with running the football, passing the football, and they're able to play great defense. They've been very impressive so far this year.
I think it was big for Houston to go win that game at Chicago the other night because the last time we saw Houston on a big stage, they got ran off the field at home. And, my question with them has been, what are they going to do with the pressure on, bright lights, now expectations heaped upon them? And they responded. I know it was a sloppy, muddy game. It was only 13-6, but that showed me a lot about not only how they can win in multiple ways, but their character. So that's a great win for Houston.
It definitely is. And, I picked preseason the I almost said Arkansas Tech Wonder Boys.
Oh, did you?
I'm looking at a Wonder Boy picture here. I did not pick them to win the Super Bowl. I did pick the Green Bay Packers, who have the same colors, to win the Super Bowl over the Houston Texans. So I had Houston being way up there, and Green Bay's on our honorable mention. But so far this season, Houston has done nothing to dispel the thought that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch.
I think they have all the ingredients in the world, and all I can do is hope my New England Patriots just live on that playoff experience. So they got holes. There's no question. Houston's the most complete team in the league, and I don't think it's a real surprise. I do think we have to show some love in that division to Andrew Luck and the Colts. How surprising they've been, but they're not catching Houston.
No, Houston is, man, they were one of those that a couple weeks in they were saying, well, we'll just go ahead and give them the division because it's over. Yeah. They're going to win the division. But Andrew Luck and Indianapolis has really turned it around. They've turned off the suck for luck. Now they got him, so they can stop sucking, and they've done a pretty good job of it. So looking at the power rankings, you had Atlanta going to the Super Bowl. I had Houston going to the Super Bowl. You did say something interesting when we were talking about this. You expected Atlanta to kind of come from nowhere. Yeah. And right now we don't have the New England Patriots in our power rankings, so maybe they're that team.
That's true. Maybe it's just a conspiracy. I'm holding them out intentionally. But let's look at some of our honorable mention teams and why they're not in. I think you mentioned the Packers go on that list. I think they're coming. They're finding themselves on offense. They're starting to get a little healthier. They're getting better. They had a bye week last week, played Arizona, looked pretty good. So they're coming. Pittsburgh was there. Then Big Ben got hurt. They struggled against the Chiefs. And well, I was going to mention the New York Giants. They're not an honorable mention. I just want to talk about them, how pathetic they've looked. They're off this week, and they needed to regroup as well. So, I mean, we see those teams that are out there. The Indianapolis Colts, another honorable mention team. But I just look at the 49ers and Bears, Mark, and I agree. I would pick the 49ers ahead of the Bears. I'm just looking at what happened leading up to this week. At home, St. Louis Rams, no disrespect, but 24-24. I almost think that's worse than losing to the Houston Texans 13-6. That's almost the way I was weighing it out.
Yeah.
I have so much respect for Houston. 13-6 loss to them, muddy track. You forced Matt Schaub into a couple of picks. I would give the Bears an edge as far as rankings, but if the 49ers win as I expect them to, that would flip easily.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see changes in this next week. We're gonna see a team in there that I guess they've been in there before, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. No, there are a couple teams I think that'll be in the power rankings this time next week that may not. Well, I say two. There may just be one. One of these two teams, Chicago and San Francisco, is probably going to fall out of the power rankings, and then there's going to be another team that will jump up and get in it. So I look forward to seeing how the power rankings shake out. Let's look real quickly, Weldon. We don't have a whole lot of time at the wire and the stuff that's come off fresh, hot off the presses. Cutler, like you said, is out. Campbell's going to start on Monday Night Football. And there were some baseball awards that have been handed out since we've last spoken about baseball.
Yeah. You've got your MVPs and Cy Young winners in the National League. The MVP is Buster Posey. Not a big surprise there, and the votes sort of yield. They showed that as Posey clearly the MVP. The Cy Young winner, R.A. Dickey. If I'm not mistaken, the first true knuckleballer to win a Cy Young, pretty much the only thing the New York Mets had going in a positive direction, so congratulations to him. AL Cy Young, Justin Verlander gets edged out by David Price, former Vanderbilt Commodore. David Price is sensational. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch, hard-throwing lefty. He's got great stuff. So he was really the leader of that Tampa Bay rotation. But, Mark, the whole conversation about awards was about the AL MVP, who was going to win it. And you had great players in Mike Trout and Miguel Cabrera, but this was bigger than just those two. This was almost an ideological war between new school and old school baseball, because I know you've heard about the sabermetric stats and the war, which is wins above replacement, and how all that, the seam heads as they call them, how all that works with the stats. And they're saying, oh, Mike Trout, better defensively, better this, better that. And then you have the old school guys saying, look, you nerds can do all that you want statistically. All I know is this guy won the Triple Crown. And his team made the playoffs. And we expected a close vote, but Miguel Cabrera, I don't know what the exact tally was, but it was not even close. He blew out Mike Trout for the AL MVP.
I'm kind of with the old school guys.
Yeah.
I've always heard about the Triple Crown. I've never seen it. Never seen anybody win it. So it's incredible to me that a guy was able to actually win the Triple Crown. I know and a lot of people are holding it against Mike Trout that he's young and that he'll just have plenty of years to get to it. And I don't think that's fair. But at the same time, Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
And if you look at those numbers, like the batting average, home run, and batting average was sort of close. Home run and RBI, he beat him by like 50 RBIs. He was an incredible run producer, and just overall, his team made it to the World Series. I mean, you can't punish him because some new made-up stats have said that this guy's more valuable to his team. I know the MVP, but good Lord, the dude won the Triple Crown.
Well, see, I figured you'd be into this because
I love stats.
Yeah, if the NBA did this for PER, well, we know who's winning
every year.
The efficiency rating. It's LeBron James. But
That's true.
I agree with you.
Call me a hypocrite.
But I agree with you. The whole making the playoffs thing is what resonated to me. And I get that they had the same record. It's just that Mike Trout played in a tougher division, but they did have the same record. But there is something to be said for playing in a hot pennant race. And I just look at Miguel Cabrera as a guy who who won the Triple Crown. And one thing that the statistical people have said, and I agree with to a degree, the Triple Crown, it is great. It's a tad overrated just because it has to do with how you stack up relative to everybody else for that year. There may be a random year where somebody, had like Ichiro back in the day would hit like 370 something, so nobody could ever win it. But it's still an incredible feat. It shows what you can do, driving in runs, being on base. The statistical people, they diminish it too much. I think it's one of those things where those stats, RBIs don't mean anything. You're scoring runs, batting average, that's meaningless. I think that goes too far as well. But I can't argue with Miguel Cabrera. I think he deserved it.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. We'd like to thank AR Sports Magazine for providing us with the schedule for this week's games. The Pottsville Apaches taking on Prairie Grove on the road tonight. Dardanelle at Stuttgart, Morrilton at Wynn, Lamar at Harding Academy. And again, congratulations to those who signed their national letters of intent today. Dedrick Lee with Oral Roberts, even going back to Madison Talley at Clarksville, going to Kansas State to play golf. Austin Smith, who's signing today from Russellville with Arkansas Tech. And Corey Campbell, who was on the show with us today from Pottsville. Congratulations to those guys. If you see them out and about, tell them that you're appreciative of their efforts and you thank them and congratulate them for what they've done for your school. Man, I was very impressed with what I saw from Corey today.
He
just
represented
the way
himself
he's
well.
very well spoken, a very good kid. Seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders and he's going a long way. So, Weldon, busy weekend ahead. Let's keep our heads on a swivel and let's be ready to come back Monday. You guys come back same time, same station, 11 o'clock on Monday.
AR Sports present the 2012 River Valley Football Magazine, featuring profiles of local high school football teams, as well as college football previews and player spotlights. Professional photography accompanies top-notch writing throughout to bring you the best locally focused publication in Arkansas. You'll enjoy special tributes to local legends Jerry Aiken and Don Sevier, as well as an exclusive interview with Razorback all-time great Clint Sterner in this year's magazine. Available at fine establishments throughout the River Valley. Pick up your copy of River Valley Football Magazine today.
Today, there are more than 20 brands of cars being sold in America. So to be noticed, Ford and Cogswell Motors have to go further than anyone thought we could. How does Ford stand out above the crowd? Not just with plug-in vehicles like the new 2013 Ford Fusion Energy that gets a projected 100 miles per gallon equivalent, but also with a line of gas vehicles equipped with the innovative EcoBoost engines combining power and efficiency, plus a full measure of technologically advanced features. We invite you to stop into Cogswell Motors today. We go further than anyone thought we could, so that you can go further too.
RiverValleyLeader.com is the #1 local source for instant news in the River Valley, offering HD video and live streaming along with top-notch coverage of all the news and events around the area. The River Valley Leader is the only place to go for all the information you need. Check out the newest local business featured on the site, as well as police news and coverage from important meetings, along with the personal stories, all at one convenient click. Check out RiverValleyLeader.com.
Live from the River Valley Leader Studio, here are your hosts, Mark Freeman and Weldon Braxton.